Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's interview guest is Maya. I hope I pronounced it right. Please tell us something about yourself.
Okay, yes, exactly right. My name is Maya, and I consider myself a citizen of the world. You can see the world behind me. And I was born in Macedonia, and then there was this war of Yugoslavia that happened. And during this war, my family and I immigrated to the other side of the world, New Zealand, which is right here at the end of the world. So we moved from Europe to this little island, New Zealand. I was 12 and a half years old. And from that moment on, my life completely changed. And I became the citizen of the world, started traveling and doing many things that I couldn't have imagined during my childhood.
Wow, I love that so much that you mention it. Thank you for sharing and thank you for saying yes to be my interview guest today. Okay, my first
My
question
pleasure.
is, yeah, thank you so much. And my first question is, what inspires you?
For me, is love,
Love inspires
courage,
you.
love and courage, and love, courage, and compassion.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds about caring for other people as well.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to expand a little how this is expressed or the inspiration?
Yes. I mean, actually, I wrote a book about this, my journey. My book is called Unveiling the Path to Happiness. But the theme of the book is about love and courage. And this is what I experienced as a child during my childhood. And I mean, I always consider myself being a love child because since I was a little girl, I I was in love with the idea of love, and I was always watching movies that were all about love, and um, I was just inspired by love and relationships and family because this is how I grew up. I grew up in a very uh, close connection to my family. And then when I was, like I said, 12 years old during the war, I was inspired by my father's courage to just pack the family. It was me, my sister, and my mom. I was completely inspired and transformed by his courage to leave everything behind, pack one suitcase each, and go to the end of the world, the other side of the world, without any job security or money. And I was so, this completely moved me forward in my life. And it's made me the person that I am. And it's given me this amazing amount of courage to do such things. And actually, I do very similar things now. I have no trouble just to pack a suitcase and go wherever my heart leads me.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you. This is very inspirational for us, for the listeners. Thank you. I have to re-listen to it again. Wow. Thank you so much. Okay, my next question is who inspires you? You mentioned your father already, of course.
Mhm,
Are there
mhm.
other people in your life?
You know, um, I'm actually inspired by myself. I'm inspired by the little girl in me. I'm inspired by the little girl that I was growing up. And to tell you the truth, whenever I need to get courage and inspiration now, I close my eyes and I remember who I was as a little girl because I'm very inspired by that little girl, the fearless little girl, full of love and courage. I was so fearless. And sometimes I close my eyes and I wish I was as fearless now as I was when I was little. So that's my own self inspiration. And then the other person that inspires me the most is Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa was actually born in my country, in my city, Skopje. Um, so having such a worldwide humanitarian leader coming from my country and my city, it has also inspired much of my adulthood life.
Wow, I love that you mentioned her. We all remember her as,
Mm.
yeah, I associated her with Calcutta now, of course, in
Mhm.
India, because she was living there. Or, yeah, I didn't know this. Thank you for
Mm.
sharing this again.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was, I believe she moved to India when she was 18 years old because she was a missionary. She's originally Albanian background, Albanian born in Macedonia. And I believe she was about 18 years old when she decided to go on her life mission. And then she traveled to India and started all these things for the children and the poor people, and that is really a great inspiration. And all her quotes, I quote a lot of her in my books.
Wow.
I'm about to publish my third book, and I quote a lot of her in my book. So definitely, she's my greatest inspiration.
Oh, thank you for mentioning. I'm very curious
Mm.
about your books now, of course.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think I didn't mention where we met. We met on Facebook. Yes, we met on Facebook, and it's
Mhm.
amazing. So please connect to Maya. I say this at this place, and then I ask my next question: how do you inspire other people?
How I inspire? I believe I inspire others through my actions. I was always told that I lead by example. So I think it's that leading by example and through my actions, also through my words and my storytelling. I try to share as much as I can by writing my books, and I have my YouTube channel. And I hope that I am inspiring others.
Yes, you are very inspiring. I can feel it. Yes, and I'm so grateful that you are on my podcast now. Yes, this is amazing. Okay, my next question is, what are your gifts and talents?
Well, I have many gifts and talents. My main one, I would say, is my intuition and my creativity. So I am an intuitive, so I use my intuition in different ways. I use my intuition to connect to people, to give them intuitive messages. Also, I like to connect to animals. Animals is one of the biggest passion in my life. I grew up with animals, and I like animal communication. So often I like to help animals and also show to people how animal communication works. Because a lot of people say animals don't communicate. Like, yes, they do. And I can show it to you how. And I'm very creative. I love art. I love dancing and poetry and um, anything that's got to do with creativity is my thing. And I should mention, actually, I'm a lawyer by background, and I'm a mediator also. I help people find peace. So I'm a mediator. I get people together and help them find peaceful solutions to their problems.
Wow, I love that. And
Mm.
I'd like to ask you a little about intuition. You mentioned intuition before, and
Mm.
when you maybe you can explain a little how it is connected to your traveling.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a great question.
thank you.
You know, People often think I'm crazy when they look at the way I travel. I do use my intuition a lot because I had many instances where I just feel in my heart I need to go somewhere and I don't know why. And I pack a suitcase and I choose the destination and then I go there. And once I start the journey, from the moment I book that flight, I'm then somehow guided to go to certain places, to meet certain people, to do certain things. Like right now, I'm in Germany, and usually I live in Dubai. And so I was in Dubai, and then 3 weeks ago, um, I came here to Germany to visit my friend, and I wasn't quite sure why I was so drawn to coming here, but now I do. Once I came here, I found the reason I'm here, and and I think by doing these type of things, I learned to trust my intuition, to trust my guidance, and even though I don't know in that moment the answer or the reason, just to trust that it will come.
Mhm. Yes, I can totally relate to that. I experienced it myself, and I want to know, um there you got an impulse. This is your inner voice, your intuition. And does your intuition tell you the country you are going or a city before you book? Or how is the process?
Hmm, that's a good question. I can't really explain that.
Mm,
It comes to me. It could be by a job, sometime like Dubai, for example. I was living in Australia, and then one night I had a dream. And in this dream, I was being interviewed in an office, and all I can see was a very tall building and clouds, and I was being interviewed. And when I woke up from that dream, I was asked the question if I had the chance to do the job which I did previously when I lived in London, will I say yes? And then I remember in my head saying, yes. Like, who's asking? I don't know where this question is coming from. And that same evening, about 8 p.m. at night, I received an email from a recruiter regarding a job in Dubai.
mhm,
From that moment, I knew I was going to Dubai and that job will be mine. So some either it's a job or a friend or I meet someone or I don't have an exactly clear description. They're always different. And
but
typically it happens in the last week, like I don't book flights or trips in advance. Usually it happens within maybe 3 to 5 days. And often I book my flight very last minute.
mhm. Wow, this is really interesting how you describe it, because most
Mm,
of the people plan in advance, so for the
mm,
next year or so, and you describe it like a few days or so.
mhm.
And for me, I can
Mhm.
share if you like to.
Yes.
For me, I'm not where I know I'm going somewhere, but I don't know when. And then first comes the date when I book the flight. This is interesting. So I received the date. For example, it
Okay.
was 1st of November or so, and then I know at that date I book my flight. And when the day comes, then of course I know exactly when the flight will take place. But before I don't know. So this is
Mm.
why I asked, because yeah, you talked about that, and I love traveling as well and
Mhm.
receiving the information where to go and when. We don't know. We have to trust intuition. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm glad to meet another one who understands me. So thank you. Because
Yeah.
most people they don't understand this.
No, they don't. They have. We all have this intuition. We are all
Mhm.
capable of
Yes.
feeling it, but we are not trained to, or we unlearned it by the conditioning. And then, yeah, as you said, we have to trust it because it's all inside us already. Oh, I love that.
I want to just share one thing that the way I started to trust this more is because I learned very hard lessons.
Mm.
Over the last 2 years, I made many trips well in advance, paid for them in advance, booked everything in advance, and none of them worked out. Something happened in the last minute, things were canceled, and that's what actually again guided me to go back to the intuitive traveling than the planning. And a friend of mine once said, "You plan and God laughs."
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's
So
true.
I learned those hard lessons.
Oh, I see, and I understand. And I would like to ask you, but I know the answer already, and this is funny. If you are going to continue to do it that way, that intuitive way,
Hmm. I
because
think so, yes, because I lost financially a lot of money by planning. So now I'm trusting my intuition.
yeah, it's always right when we
Hmm.
trust our intuition. Okay, my last question now is
Yes.
about your offers and services. If people reach out to you, to Maya, what can they expect or what are you providing them with? Is there a
Hmm.
special offer to the Inspired Podcast community?
Yes. So I offer intuitive spiritual life coaching, and also I do mediation, and I like helping most of all couples because I'm very driven by the unity of people together. And so I get very heartbroken when I hear, oh, somebody is breaking up, so I want to do everything I can to help them. So I'm passionate about couple therapy and also intuitive and spiritual life coaching.
Wow, I love that so
And then
much.
everybody gets a copy of my book as well when I do my life coaching. My book is Unveiling the Path to Happiness. And then my second book is Free Your Mind, Listen with Your Heart. And my third book, about to get published, is about finding your Dharma, your soul purpose. So this is another offering I have. I help people to find what is their calling, what is their life purpose, and how to step into that calling so that they can serve their life purpose.
Wow, thank you so much. This was an
Mm,
inspiring interview. We can do
my
this
pleasure.
again in one year or so and see where we are.
Mm,
This would be a
okay.
pleasure. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much. I had really nice time talking with you.
Oh, and see you in the next episode.
Okay.